Hi there, Gabriel. My name's Andrew, and I'm the essay corrector here at IELTSpodcast.com. Well done for getting this far in the course, and thanks for submitting your first pieces of work. Each time a student submits an essay, I'm the one that reads through it sentence by sentence and tells you how well you've responded to the task, how coherent your essay was, and how well structured it was. I'll be talking some about, some suggestions for more academic phrasings, more precise language. But also I'll be correcting your grammar as we go. So this question, some people think that schools should be more entertaining. So my first point would be here, we should say in modern society or in today's society. In nowadays society is not quite on the ball. There are individuals who believe, we could say, individuals who believe schools should be less rigid and have more entertainment options. On the other hand, some groups think these institutions should focus purely on education. We focus on things. In my opinion, this should be a should. If we're making a recommendation, then we should be talking about what ought to happen, what should happen. So schools should have in their curriculums flexible options that mix both entertainment and education. Good. The one thing we're missing here is a brief explanation as to why. What an examiner is looking for in your introduction is for you to discuss the question, to give your opinion, and to briefly outline the ideas that you will raise in the body of your essay down here. So, firstly, traditional schools with rigid educators are in the past. Maybe rigid methods would be better here. The model with teacher, or the model in which the teacher mandates I would say motivates would be better here. The model in which the teacher motivates students with fear, we motivate people with things, is outdated as children from the new generations, the so-called millennials, are less obedient to authority. See, now you need to be careful here because you've made a very strong statement and then you've said that due to this fact. So you're saying this is a fact, but we need evidence for this. To say that a new generation is less obedient to authority requires proof. So let's have a look at your example and see if it does prove what you've said. So for example, in the Netherlands, some institutions are adopting the inverse. So let's just correct this first. In the Netherlands, some institutions are adopting the inverse, where students have classic classes in the morning, and in the afternoon they choose their activities from a variety of leisure options, such as, never use like in place of such as, always use such as when giving limited examples. Painting, creative thinking, and video game championships. I'm not sure what this is. So while this does provide an example of an alternative method, it does not give us any proof about millennials being resistant to authority. So be careful with strong statements like this and make sure that you back them up with evidence. And schools are looking, so we need the plural they, and a better phrase would be student base. The student base, or the student body, is all of the students. So what we could say here, when researchers analysed these groups, they concluded that they obtained better results in exams. Cool. Secondly, although education is important, different classes generate more engagement from students. Cool. Take, for example, some private schools in Brazil. They're adopting out-of-the-box approaches. All right. Such as the use of agriculture classes. According to a study, this method brings innumerous benefits, again, such as social skills, let's say, the development of social skills and increased environmental awareness. What's reduced evasion? I'm not sure what this means at all. Yeah, I'm unclear on the meaning of this. I can't construct anything from it. At the same time, people have a pleasant time in an outdoor city. At the same time as people enjoy their time, although I don't like the repeat of the word time. So we could just say, actually, at the same time as people enjoy an outdoor activity, they also learn in a different fashion. In conclusion, I believe I think it would be better off like this. I believe the purpose of schools should be education in conjunction with enjoyable activities. This is not quite fitting here. Okay, now we're okay. So there's a few prepositional errors in this first essay. So I would work, in terms of grammar, I would work on getting your prepositions correct and accurate. But other than that, you have the right structural idea. So we need to make sure that you satisfy the three things in the intro, discuss the question, give your opinion, and provide a brief outline of the ideas you will use in the body of your essay. Ensure that you use a single idea in a paragraph and you introduce it, expand it, support it with an example, and explain how it relates back to the question. Do that twice and then conclude everything at the bottom. And we should be fine. So let's have a look at your next piece. So with this one, enjoyable activities with children participating. And do they increase skills and creativity better than reading? All of those things should be included. So some people argue that reading is less effective than performing pleasant activities with children. Very good. To flourish as a verb is not naturally used in this fashion. To develop or to encourage. In my opinion, I agree that entertainment can help in youngsters' development more than monotonous methods. Okay, but maybe a quick due to. So instead of the full stop, we have due to or as a result of, as a way to raise the ideas you're about to discuss. And first of all, we play games on consoles. Okay, that's a good sentence. For example, a study from Harvard has shown that PlayStation users are much more likely to engage in a group than others who do not play video games. But how does this, what's that, okay. I think, again, this is a bit, it's like the paragraph started in one way and then went another way. If you're going to talk about active skills and spatial awareness, then your study or your example should prove that. And here you just say they're more likely to engage in a group. I'm not sure what that proves. And then you switch topics to talk about the risks of video games. So you've started by talking about the positive side of video games, and then you've switched to talk about the negative side of video games. But you agree that entertainment can help. So really we should be sticking to the positives of playing video games. So this first part of your paragraph where we talk about increased spatial awareness and active skills, we should have explored that further and used an example that supported this idea, the development of active skills and spatial awareness. Cool. So secondly, outdoor activities such as sports support the improvement of cognitive and physical abilities. Cool. A survey from Brazil's National Institute of Sport revealed that especially that, I think you mean team sports. So team sports in particular improve the capacity of children to relate in groups and it would be better just to say that. Work together to resolve mutual problems. One clear example is the Brazilian Olympic Games. I think we could just say the Brazilian Olympic Games. That gathered schools from all over the country in 1 week of intense experience. This sentence is a bit long and it's causing some confusion. Do you mean intense experiences of exchange? I'm not quite sure on the meaning of this sentence either. Yeah, I think I'm not doing a good job of changing this sentence because I'm not quite sure which way it's supposed to go. I'm happy with this bit, but I'm not quite sure on this bit. So I'll leave that bit up to you. To conclude, I believe cheerful activities are extremely important to boost creative thinking as they stimulate children to react to different stimulus. Yes, but that should have been covered more here. I would have liked to see it a little bit more in depth. The first part of the mark scheme is task and achievement or task response. And the first thing an examiner looks at is how well you responded to the task. How well did you explore your points? How consistent were you? So I'll send this over to you now. What I'd like you to do is correct your own work using these suggestions, compile a list of your most frequent errors, and also include in the same email the 2 new essays that I will link you to now. Looking forward to your next work, Gabriel. Have a great day. Goodbye for now.